Assalamualaikum everyone. So today I'm gonna explain a bit about what is a student cafe. So a student cafe is a simple web system that allows users to manage food and beverage items, handle admin logins, and perform customer related actions. Similar to a small canteen management system for students. To evaluate the system security, we use two techniques: secure source code review, where we inspected the PHP code for vulnerabilities, and penetration testing, where we simulated real attacks to exploit weakness. So let's get started.
A few moments later.
Hi everyone, my name is Zulaika, and in this video, me and my friends will explain the vulnerabilities that we found in our Student Cafe web application. I will show their effects and how I fixed them. The first vulnerability is SQL injection, found in the file deleteBef.php. Here is the code. This line directly uses user input from the URL without checking it, so an attacker could type something like this, which could delete all beverage records in the database. To fix this, I replaced that line with this. With the code that I changed earlier, it will make sure that the value passed in the treated as data, not part of the SQL command. If someone tries to enter SQL keywords, they will not be executed. It just store as value. This completely protects the query from injection attacks. The next vulnerability that I found is CSRF, which is cross-site request forgery in deletefood.php. This function allows deletion just by clicking a link, so an attacker could send the admin the image. And when the admin clicks or view it, that food item get deleted without any confirmation. So I fixed this by changing the method from get to post, and I add a CSRF token. Now the delete request must come from a form like this. And I also add the validation on the server. Now the delete action only works if the correct token is submitted from the trusted session. This stops attackers from forging the request from another website, and also protect critical action like deletion from being abused.
Hi everyone, my name is Nur Aina Zulaikha binti Muhammad Shaharudin. So in this part, I will demonstrate two serious security issues found in the student cafe system, which is authentication flaw and a CSRF vulnerability. First, let's start with the authentication flaw. In the original at admin.php, when an admin registers, their password is stored directly in the database without any encryption. For example, here, I will register the new admin as new_admin, and the password is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and I will add new@gmail.com as the email. So when I click sign up, here, when we look at the PHP my admin, it will show that the password is stored as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is very dangerous because if someone gains the access to the database, they can instantly see all the passwords. This will violate the basic security principles. So to overcome this vulnerability, we need to make some update on our code. Before this, the password is stored by using the PHP password equals to post password. So, and to fix the vulnerability, we will replace or we will add the password hash line so that the password will encrypt it before storing. Now, I will try again by registering a new admin, which is me itself, Nayli, and the password is Nayli123. And when I click sign up and look at the PHP my admin, my password is already hashed. Now, it will show that the password is stored securely and unreadable to the attacker. Next, let's take a look at the CSRF vulnerability. Originally, this form will access data from any request, even from an attacker fake website. Here, I've already created a file called CSRF attack.html, and when I click to this link or I open this link, it shows that the new admin is suddenly registered. And when I take a look at my PHP my admin, here is a line which is the hacker line in my database. So this cross-site request forgery is happening when an attacker tricked the admin into submitting a fake form. So to overcome or to fix this vulnerability, we need to update the register.php where we need to add the CSRF token. We also need to make a validation of the token itself in admin.php. Alright, now we will try to attack with the same CSRF attack.html again. And when we click to the same link, now it shows that the attacker can't open or can't register their data into our database, and it will show the error message. So it shows that with the CSRF token added and verified, perfect requests like this are blocked.
Okay, for my part, I will do for the code review. First, I'll demonstrate a cross-site scripting or SSS vulnerability found in the file admin.php. After a successful login, the application used the post username value inside the JavaScript alert function like this. The problem here is that the user input is directly echoed into the browser without any sanitization. If an attacker enters a malicious script, for example, script alert SSS script, it will be executed in the victim's browser. This could lead to the session hijacking or other malicious action. To fix these issues, I used the HTML special char function to sanitize the input. Here is the correct version. I assign the input to a variable called saveUsername using this HTML special chars. Then I echoed that variable in the alert, so even if the input contains a script tag, it will be displayed as a plain text instead of being executed. This small change is crucial to prevent XSS attacks and protect users from browser-based exploits. Okay, so now let's take a look at the second vulnerability, either in the delete customer.php. In the original version, the code used a value from the URL cast_id and directly passed it into the SQL delete query like this, without checking if the user was an admin or authorized to perform the action. This means that any user could modify the cast_id in the URL and delete records they shouldn't have access to. This is a serious access control flow known as insecure direct object reference, or IDR. To fix it, I made a 3 improvements. First, I added a session check to ensure the user is logged in as an admin. Second, I validate the input using is_numeric and inval to prevent injection. And third, I use a prepare statement to safely pass the customer ID into the query. This change helps ensure that only authorized users can delete data and that inputs and clean are secure. These changes help ensure that only authorized users can delete data and that inputs are clean and secure. To prevent this type of vulnerabilities, developers should always sanitize user input using functions like HTML special chars to defend against XSS, and implement proper session checks, input validation, and prepare statement to prevent IDR and SQL injection risks. By following secure coding practices, we can protect our web application from common attacks and ensure that user data stays safe. That's all from me. Let's move on to the next member. Thank you.
Okay, so next I want to continue by reviewing the login and admin authentication logic. So in admin PHP, we can see that user inputs are directly used in the SQL query without any validation or sanitizations. Okay, so first we open the login PHP and then we go to the source code. Okay, so as you can see at the admin PHP source code in the line 15. Okay, so this code is vulnerable to SQL injection because it directly concatenates user input into the SQL query. An attacker can manipulate the query to always return true, thus bypassing the authentications. Okay, now I'll demonstrate the exploit using the OR operator equals 1 equals to 1 input as input will make the SQL query always return true. Okay, and then we copy the code, the command, and then we go to the login page. Okay, we paste on both username and password. Okay, after clicking the login button, the website will redirect us to admin PHP to verify the submitted credentials. Why I use this command? Because this is possible because 1 always equals to 1 is always true, and the OR operator tricks the SQL logic. The attacker is logged in as the first admin user in the database. Okay. So to fix the SQL injection vulnerability in admin PHP, I replace the unsafe SQL query that directly include the user inputs with a parameter statement. Okay, so I change this line with the new one. So this is the fixed coding. Okay, so this allows an attacker to inject SQL like operator or 1 equals to 1 by passing authentications. So now user input is safely bound to the query, preventing SQL injection. So I also added the HTML special chars to sanitize the output in the success alert to prevent XSS. Okay, so now reviewing the admin PHP. Okay, so this script insert data from the registration form directly into the database without any sanitizations. Okay, so this line is vulnerable to SQL injection. So SQL map can exploit this and extract data from the database. Okay, so now we exploit the vulnerabilities. For the step 1, we copy the command to find the database. Okay, and then we press and enter. Okay, so this command tells SQL map to scan the registration form and list all databases. And then step 2, we copy the commands and then paste it, enter. Okay, so for step 2, this lists all tables in the selected order databases. Step 3 is dump data from admin table. Okay, so this command extract all record from admin table, exposing sensitive data like usernames and password. We can try one by we take the data, username and password, and try to log in. Okay, so in admin PHP, the vulnerabilities was caused by directly inserting user input into the SQL query. Okay, so for the line 10 vulnerability, I fixed by using a prepare statement. Okay, so this is the fixed coding. So now SQL map can't inject or extract anything because the inputs are properly bound and escape. I also added the basic validations, filter var to check the email format is valid.